what a behind the G we have for you listeners today. From the pitch to the pool, we're hitting all the Red Elephants hot spots. But before we pull that big red curtain back, a couple of reminders. Follow us on social media if you're not already for all the latest news, photos, and GHS fodder. At Go Red Elephants is our handle across all platforms. And please visit our website, goredelephants.com, for updated roster and team information, as well as all the aforementioned things I named. In fact, now's the perfect time to go to goredelephants.com because we're venturing into spring sports seasons. And if you're not familiar with our teams, well, that's half the battle towards willing your want to show up and show out for our Red Elephants. So go to goredelephants.com, get familiar with our teams, our coaches, all the roster information you could possibly want, news, photos, anything of that nature, and then get out and see our Red Elephants stomp. Adam, as we get into this show, again, a great one lined up. We're going to be talking to two of our soccer coaches. We're going to be talking to one of our swimming athletes who participated in 4 events at the state meet at Georgia Tech this past weekend. Before we get into it, though, a couple of things we want to hit on. The thing that's at the forefront of my mind, though, has nothing to do with Gainesville High School athletics. And really, before we started recording today, you reminded me of it, and that is that one of our iconic symbols of our youth in James Vanderbeek passed away yesterday, and boy, it tore both of us up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, growing up when we did, Varsity Blues was the
oh my God, it was great.
It was the best athletics movie coming out
for our age people.
Yeah, for our age.
Like it was, yeah.
And then you had the spinoff TV show, which I watched.
I watched that as well.
Too.
Yeah.
And then Dawson's Creek. I mean, for our generation, like
Destination TV.
Yeah, the WB.
Yeah, on the WB. And Adam and I talked about it at length yesterday because we were coming out of an interview with one of our coaches, and I saw a message. A friend had tweeted me, or a friend had texted me. Excuse me, not tweeted me. A friend had texted me, an old college teammate, and was like, "Not Dawson." I looked at it and. Obviously, he'd been battling cancer for a couple of years, diagnosed at stage 3, and he succumbed to the illness after a hard fight yesterday. But it took me back to my college days. Yeah. Took you back to your college days.
Yeah, and it's crazy because for a long time I didn't know who James Vanderbeek was.
Right, he was Dawson.
I mean, he was just always Dawson.
Right.
And. So it's crazy how, characters like that, obviously we didn't know him. We didn't hang out on the weekends,
right.
But, characters like that touch you and, you hate to see stuff like that happen.
You do. And time and place. I mean, I think a show like Dawson's Creek comes along right now. I'm not paying it any attention, but time and place, the WB was big in our college days. Yep. And, my teammates and I, we would, after a hard day of being college basketball athletes, we'd gather around a very small television set, sitting on a futon or on the floor, because back in those days I could sit on the floor with no knee pain. And, we watched Dawson's Creek, we watched Roswell, we watched Felicity, and if any memories are coming back for any of our Red Elephant listeners right there, then man, what a great youthdom you had as well.
Well, and also like how different is it these days? I mean, I don't think anybody watches really much of anything live,
right?
Unless it's live sports. But back in that time frame, we had like watch parties. Like we had groups that we watched these shows with, and we planned our week around them, and we're all going to meet at so and so's house, and from 7 to 8 or whatever, and watch our show. And just how crazy the times change.
They do, but how wonderful those times were and the memories they bring back. Now, I've got to ask before we move into actual Gainesville High School athletics and whatever comes with that. I've got to ask. Now, I know you were Team Joey for obvious reasons.
Absolutely.
Was your wife, Abby, Team Pacey or Team Dawson?
Totally Team Pacey.
See, that's why we get along so well.
Anything that that he is in now, it's like, hey, we got to watch that.
Pacey's in it.
I'm like, can you calm down just a little bit? Like, I'm right here.
I'm sorry, guys. We got just one more second, and then we'll get off this topic, I promise. You know that they're coming out with a TV show or a movie where Joey, played, of course, by Katie Holmes, Pacey, what was his name? I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter. But anyway, those two real people, not the Pacey and Joey, but the real people are reuniting for a show of some sort. Like the internet's all a Twitter, as it were.
All a Twitter.
You see what I did there?
Yeah,
whatever.
That was just like pitch to the pool. That had me in your intro.
Well, I try to be punny as much as I can. It's really all I've got working for me. So anyway, sad day for our generation.
Yes,
sad
no doubt.
couple of days for our generation. Yeah, that's really it. It was. I'd never thought though that you would be a Dawson's Creek fan.
Absolutely.
I was absolutely floored.
Yeah.
Your face fell a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Well, I mean, again,
tough days.
It was. I mean, again, I was always wishing I was him because I wanted to be with Joey.
You wanted to be with Joey. But anyway, we won't get into. We're not going to get into it. Yeah. We're not going to get into it. Coming up on the show, again, I want to we go from the pitch to the pool. We've got Elie Vivient, our boys soccer coach, coming up to talk a little bit about the first match they won this season, which was this past Tuesday night at Habersham, but also about the upcoming season and what he sees this group of young men doing for Big Red Soccer. And then we've got one of our girls' assistant coaches on. And we chose an assistant coach because she's got such an incredible and vast story. Tara Koleski going to be joining us, former member of the U.S. Women's National Team, All-American in college, played for several national championships, played professionally abroad and at home. She's got a great story to tell. And she's going to preview the season a little bit, but really it's more about getting to know one of our assistant coaches. And then we've got one of our swimmers on, and Colden McKay. He's a sophomore, competed in 4 events at state this past weekend. Going to have a great conversation with him. In the midst of that conversation, Adam and I get into a huge fight about Olympic swimming. So if for no other reason, you're going to want to stick around behind the G this week for that little bit of entertainment. And when I say huge fight, like in a funny way, we don't actually start duking it out in front of
as much as you and I fight.
As much as you and we don't start duking it out in front of one of our student athletes. But I digress. We've got a lot to talk about though before we get to our guest. And the first thing that I want to hit on is something we've got coming up at the end of March. You all know out there that we have got a Gainesville Athletics Hall of Fame. And each year, for the last, 7 years, we have had a banquet each spring in which we have reveled in our past, right? We have nominations come in. They're submitted to a committee. A committee chooses 6 members of our Hall of Fame each and every year to then be honored at a huge banquet. And boy, the idea Adam had to do this caught on like wildfire. It has been an absolutely incredible event year in and year out. But this year we're gonna kind of change course, and we've decided to do the Hall of Fame banquet every other year. Keep the nominations coming in. You can find how to nominate at GoRedElephants.com. Just look for the Hall of Fame tag, okay? You can still nominate. We're going to do that every other year. And in the years we don't do the Hall of Fame banquet and honor our past, we're still going to, in a way, by doing what we like to call a Gainesville Day of Giving. And that is coming up at the end of this March. This year, we're doing the Gainesville Day of Giving. And I think this is the perfect time to kind of introduce to our listeners what that's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited about making this this announcement to Red Elephant Nation because we are constantly looking for ways to better serve our student athletes in our community. And as you mentioned, after a strategic discussion with our Gainesville Athletic Club board, we decided to move our Hall of Fame banquet to a biennial schedule, and yes, I had to look that word up. This allows us to focus on this year's energy entirely on a giving year, an initiative designed to fuel the vision of Gainesville Athletics and maintain our elite facilities and ensure our 26 varsity programs have the resources to compete at the highest level. That brings us to the Gainesville Day of Giving. Last time we did this, you showed up and shows out the Gainesville community. You raised over $20,000 in a single day. It was incredible, but in Gainesville, we don't just reach benchmarks, we shatter them. On March 25th, our goal is to blow that $20,000 record out of the water to support the next generation of Red Elephants. Here's the plan. Wednesday, March 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., we are taking over the patio at Johnny's Pizza, and we'll be broadcasting live across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, which I like to call Twitter. Don't ever call it X.
Exactly.
I'll be sitting down with legendary alumni, coaches, and special guests all day long to share their stories that make Gainesville Athletics the standard of excellence in Georgia. Here's what I need from you. I need you to do 3 things, Gainesville. Mark your calendars, number 1. Stop by and Johnny's and join us in person that day. And most importantly, get your contact list ready. The donation link will be live on GoRedElephants.com that day. If you have an alumnus who needs to be on that stream that day, reach out to us and let us know. Let us show the world the power of the Red Elephant Trail. And we look forward to having everybody involved that day, and a great event like we did, I guess it was probably
2021 was the last time.
It was an awesome event. We really enjoyed it. We had a lot of alumni and on that, and people were able to catch up, and we raised a lot of money for Gainesville Athletics. So I'm looking forward to it again.
Hey, listen, it was a day that I remember very, very well. If for no other reason than it was wildly exhausting for the two of us, but so rewarding at the same time. And that's usually, what happens. But yeah, this is something we really want you all to be a part of. And the last time we did it, folks, we did it in, I hate to say a secure location, but it was, because we were inside the school.
Yeah.
And so on the grounds, it's just hard to get in and roam around. So we did it in sort of a secure location. And we had people, yes, who were coming in, but really we had people on Zoom with us and things of that nature, that anyone tuning in on Facebook and Instagram. We didn't do Twitter Live the last time. We just did Facebook and Instagram. But we're going to be on Twitter Live this time. We're going to figure out a way to at least put part of it on TikTok if you want to watch it, those means. But a lot of you out there listening have a Facebook, you have an Instagram. So let's just make it easy on you. It'll be live on those two platforms. But, finding a way to get those faces that you're so familiar with. If you've been a Gainesville Red Elephant for a long time or just a short time and have come to the Hall of Fame banquets, then you know a lot of these faces. But having them on and catching up with them and those things, but really just making an entire day about Gainesville athletics and the importance of giving to our student athletes still, and giving people the space to remember what it was like to be an athlete at Gainesville High School and how important the support of the community was to them.
Yep.
It really manifests them wanting to give back, even if it's that singular time. That's okay. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. This time, though, we are giving you access to what we're doing in the form of being able to be physically present, because we're doing it at Johnny's, and we want it to be a celebratory thing.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be fun about it. I'm excited about doing it at Johnny's. Appreciate Clark over there inviting us to use their facility for this. They've always been a great host to anything that we've needed them for. So I think it's going to be a fun event. We're going to start at 9. Obviously, it'll be before they're open, but they're going to give us access pretty early, and they're going to start serving about 10:30. So if you want to come by and have lunch and make your donation or say hello, you never know, you might get the chance to jump on the live stream. But certainly looking forward to having alumni on, having our coaches on, having some of our current athletes on, having some of our GAC members that'll be able to talk about why it's so important to get involved, to donate. And, I think one of the messages that's always so important is, as a student athlete here, you benefit a lot from the Gainesville Athletic Club. And once you become an alumni, it's honestly, it's now's your time for whatever that is and whatever you're able to do. Again, as you mentioned, even if it's just that one time, it's that time to get involved and give back to a community that's given you so much.
Absolutely. And look, we understand a lot of our alumni are no longer living within the confines of the Gainesville city limits. We get that. Some of you are working for competing school systems. We get that too. We're not asking for a blood oath, but we certainly want you involved nonetheless. So March 25th, Johnny's Pizza, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Boy, we are going to be out loud and proud for the Red Elephants and hoping that you'll join us, whether it's on phone, in person, however you can, we want you to. It's going to be a great event. Gainesville Day of Giving, mark it on your calendars now, put it in Sharpie, March 25th, Johnny's Pizza, 9 to 2. It's going to be fun. No matter what, we know we're going to have a good time. So great thing that we're doing there. In the meantime, though, boy, do we have a lot of sports to talk about.
Wow. I mean, and I always talk about all the time about how crazy spring is, but when you cross over winter and spring, it's like this time of year is just nuts.
It's insane. Yeah. We wrapped up our basketball season, regular season this past week, while starting soccer season and tennis season and track season.
And baseball.
And baseball season. That was the thing I was at. What am I talking about? But basketball swept Johns Creek in their season finale, regular season finale, fantastic. Region tournament coming up this weekend, and then all of next week. It will all be played at Chattahoochee High School. And so, best of luck to our teams there. Boys tennis won its first match this past week. over Tallulah Falls. That's the second match they've played this season. Girls lacrosse plays its first home match tonight, and we're recording this on Thursday morning. Tonight at 7, Bobby Gruen Field, where it's going to be. Soccer plays their first home matches on Friday night, also at Bobby Gruen Field. They're going to be taking on East Hall, 5:30, 7:30, the start times there. Wrestling's participating in state traditionals. Spoke with Coach Turner this morning, said they had a tough day yesterday, but everybody moved on to day 2. So they're battling for Big Red right now at the Clayton County Convention Center in the state traditional match. And then yesterday, on Wednesday, our track and field team held its first event at the Lambert Wednesday night event. Listen to this, folks. Our track and field team, 26 student athletes finished in the top 5 in 17 different events. There were 34 events overall at Lambert yesterday. Both our girls and boys, 4x200 and 4x800 teams finished first. We also had first place finishes in the boys long jump, the pole vault, and shot put, as well as the girls 100, 1600, and long jump. We've got a lot of talent across a lot of different events. And for those of us who have been around Gainesville track and field for a while, it's really great to see the boys and girls finishing first, finishing in the top 5 even in field events. That's going to be key when it gets to region time, when it gets to state time. Now, early in the season in track and field. Early in the season and everything I mentioned but wrestling and basketball. We would be remiss right now if we did not focus on that very last thing I mentioned, the boys side of it. For the first time since 1992, for the second time since 1982, our boys basketball team finished a season undefeated, a regular season undefeated. It is a heralded moment, a historic moment here at Gainesville High School. One that, frankly, I think didn't quite get enough attention. Yeah. Maybe that was intentional because it doesn't really matter if you finish undefeated. We want to be there on March 13th, as you heard Quentin Mansfield say last week, right? Mm-hmm. But all that aside, it is certainly nothing to be scoffed at. And kudos to Coach Charlemagne Gibbons, his staff, and of course the young men he coaches.
I mean. As you mentioned, an undefeated season is very, very rare. So rare. Obviously, in my
not just here.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying in almost my 15 years, I mean, it's the first one I've ever dealt with. Even the years that Coach Gibbons has won state titles, they weren't undefeated seasons to get there. So, it certainly is obviously a huge thing for that program. Awesome for Gainesville that this is our third. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. But at the end of the day, as you mentioned, their goal is to get that big silver trophy at the end. So how incredible it would be is if you tied those two together and go undefeated and win that state title. But that's the goal, and those kids are focused on it. Just while we're talking about the basketball program, I've just been so impressed with them. They find a way to win every week. They don't always do it as pretty as we'd like for them to do. Yeah. But I got a call from somebody the other day, and they're like, "Man, your basketball team's really good. Do y'all have some just stud?" And I was like, "No, like we play team basketball. Like
100%.
We don't have a guy.
It's a beautiful thing to watch.
We don't have a guy that averages 20 a game. We don't have a guy." I could be wrong. We may not have somebody that's even scored 20. We may have at some point.
Once or twice, but that's it.
But we'll have 4 or 5 guys that get 14, 15, 16.
Correct.
And that's to me the epitome of team basketball.
And the way they play defense.
Ooh, boy. I mean, their defense is just absolutely smothering. Mm-hmm. I want to give a quick shout out to Sebastian real quick.
I'm so glad you're doing that. Sebastian Collins, baby. Yes.
Like when he steps in the game, like he's putting a world of hurt on somebody.
Yeah. He's an energy bringer and a difference maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's not a starter, and he gets his role. And here's the funny thing is he took a shot in the last game, and I was talking to my wife, and I was trying to remember. That may have been the first shot I've seen him take this season.
Yeah.
Because that's just not his role. I mean, he's a defender. He's a guy that spreads the ball out. But as you mentioned, when he comes in, he comes in as not as a change of pace, because KJ's an incredible defender as well, but just at another level. Just can't wait to see this basketball team continue on. Hoping for the best. As they continue on through the playoffs.
And we know this, Coach Gibbons set up the out of region schedule such that our team has faced a lot of adversity. And I mean on the court, being down by 10, being down by 8 with 3 minutes left, like all the little game situations that you practice, but they're also very hard to practice. what play are we going to call down by 1 with 12 seconds left on the sideline out of bounds? You practice those little moments, but it's hard to replicate the intensity of an actual moment of that magnitude. Our guys have been in it because of who we played, and you both in region and out of region. Because listen, Milton, Johns Creek, those are 2 really good teams this year.
Both top 5 in our classification. And it's funny you talk about the situational thing because something happened in our last game. It was I think it was in the third quarter. There was a stoppage of play, and Coach Gibbons called a timeout with 7.4 seconds left at the end of the third quarter. And somebody turns like, "Why is he? Y'all are up by 20. Why is he taking a timeout?" He was making a situational play.
He was practicing.
Practicing for if we get in a game in the fourth quarter
Correct.
where we need to be able to do that, and we've got 7.4 seconds left, we're going to run a play to make sure we can score right at the end of that quarter to win a game for us if that's what we need to do. So I thought it was very interesting that he's intentionally thinking about opportunities where we can practice something in a game live situation that may not affect the outcome of that game, but is going to help us down the line.
Yeah, and no disrespect to the opponent you're up 20 against, but our down the line it's a plausible thing to say the line's going to run long.
Absolutely.
And so we need to make sure we're ready for everything. And to be able to put your guys or girls in a situation where they can see themselves execute in those moments and know that the play you're calling.
And go back to and say, like, hey, we
did this.
This is the exact same thing we did against them. Let's do it again.
And have them get a clean shot off, even if they don't make it. They know they can get it. Maybe they start over the next, working on that shot. Anyway, it's impressive to watch our boys basketball team. And I'll say this about Tuesday night against Johns Creek. A lot of Gainesville showed up. A lot of Gainesville that I hadn't seen at games. And when those boys won and walked off the floor, the standing ovation they got, every bit deserved.
Every bit.
Every bit deserved by the specific people who were in the stands. And you all who were there, you know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking about. Come to the rest of them. These boys deserve it, and so do our girls. Our girls deserve it too. But an undefeated regular season is a special, special, special thing. And I'm so glad these kids got to experience it, especially here.
Yeah.
Because, we say all the time, there ain't nothing like being a red elephant.
Well, and at the end of the day, those kids may never, and most likely will never have an undefeated season again.
No. It's very difficult. If for no other reason than your point guard who you're relying on gets an injury.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got a lot more weeks to talk about our boys basketball team, but I would have really regretted if we didn't take a lot of moments right now to talk about what they just accomplished. More accomplishments to come, but what they just accomplished, the magnitude of it is pretty, pretty great. And we're super proud of Coach Gibbons, his staff, and his entire team. I love the way they pull for each other, and
celebrating each other. It's a thing.
It is. It's absolutely a thing. Mentioned before, folks, great show coming up. Elie Vivient, boys soccer coach. We got Colden McKay, swimmer, coming up as well, and former U.S. women's national team player who now is one of our assistant coaches, Tara Koleski, as well.
I do want to make sure before we cut to our guests, we remind everybody about Monday. We have the unveiling of the Vic.
That's correct.
The Wayne Vickery Performance Center out at Ivey-Watson. That is on Monday. We're going to be celebrating Coach Vickery at noon. Going to be, we'll have say some kind words about Vickery.
All of which he himself will scoff at.
Yes, and then we'll have the kind of the grand opening and the tour of the Vic. We're excited about being able to open that place for our kids and being able to show it off to the community. And then there's a baseball game at 2:00 where the Red Elephant baseball takes on Loganville. So certainly want to make sure we invite everybody out for that. And if you can't make it, make sure you give Coach Vickery a call and congratulate him because this is a huge thing for him.
And a well-deserved one. And let me tell you what, the signage is pretty. I can't wait to get Angie and the kids out there and show it off. And really, we want all you community members who showed up at Ivey-Watson during his tenure at Gainesville High School, those of you who can, to come on out. Look, it looks the same. The driveway is the same old Charlotte Ridgeway Parkway or Charlotte Ridgeway Drive, I guess it is. Listen, I've been around long enough to know who Charlotte. She took up tickets for me. Long enough to know who Charlotte Ridgeway was. So get out on Monday, to Ivey-Watson Field. I was about to say Bobby Gruenfield. We got a lot of legends, boy.
We do.
We got a lot of legends.
It's the Gainesville way.
It's the Gainesville way. I love hearing that. Guys, we got a great Behind the G coming up for you. We've got so much fun stuff coming up just in the next couple weeks here at Gainesville High School that we're super excited about. And we'll be talking about it more as we move through our podcast days as well. Elie Vivient coming up next, folks. You're listening to Behind the G. Red Elephant Soccer begins home play at City Park on Friday with a doubleheader against East Hall that starts at 5:30 with the girls, wraps up with a 7:30 boys match. Last night, they opened up their 2026 season at Habersham. Our girls lost a close one, 2-0, while our boys won a close one by the exact same margin. Joining us now to not only talk about last night's match, but his expectations for the upcoming season is our longest tenured coach here at GHS and head of our Big Red Boys program, Elie Vivient. Coach, welcome into Behind the G. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, coming off a big win.
Yeah. It's always hard to go there.
Yeah, Habersham's a good program, yeah?
Yes, they always have Rick up there. He's a really good coach, and they always have a good program.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about last night's match.
So last night, we dominated. We had the ball, I would say, 65, 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Lot of shot on goals, couldn't score. They had one throw-in and they scored, so we went down 1-0 at halftime. The first 3 minutes of the second half, we scored 2 quick goals. So we went up 2-1. And then 25 minutes before the end of the game, one of my guys got ejected, got a red card. And so we finished the game at 10-11. We did control the rest of the game. We had more opportunities. We could have scored more. But all in all, we had a good game. We have a good group of kids.
That side didn't give Habersham credit for their goal. Sorry, not sorry. In my mind, we shut everybody out.
That's the reason they're called Habersham.
They're called Habersham. I love that. I do want to clarify. I heard you come into Coach Lindsey's office, Adam's office, earlier this morning, and talking a little bit about the red card. What was why did our guy get a red card?
So actually, it's a soft red, meaning that he got 2 yellows. So the first yellow was for a foul on one of their players. They go for the ball. He's a big guy against a small guy. He kind of trucks the small guy, so he got a yellow card.
So you're saying it was deserved? That's what I'm hearing. Is it was?
Yeah. I didn't complain. And then,
well, I meant it was deserved. Like the little guy got in our big guy's way. So therefore,
he should have gotten trucked.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, same guy mistimed a header, and then he grabbed the ball with his hand. So, that doesn't really work either. So
that's not good.
He got another yellow card and 2 yellows in the red, so he got a soft red.
The reason I wanted to clarify, all you Red Elephants out there listening, is since November 21st, the day that will live in infamy in Gainesville athletic history, we want people to have the right information about why we get what's the word I'm looking for? Punished in any regard. Why we get penalized.
Yeah.
And so I wanted you all to know that a red card did not happen because anyone fought anyone or anybody cussed anybody out or one of our kids acted in a poor manner. No. It happened just like a foul happens in basketball. There was a little bit of physicality that shouldn't have been there. You get a yellow card instead of a foul that sends somebody to the line for 2 shots, right? Yeah. And then a handball, well, that happens. What are you going to do?
And it's crazy. And we've talked about this a bunch. Soccer is so much different than you use basketball as an example. In basketball, you get 5 fouls. And you get, you're foul out.
Yeah, correct.
In soccer, you get 2 fouls, you get red carded, and
you get a bigger foul. You get a technical.
Ejected.
And
it's like that's not even close to a balance between the 2 sports. I mean, I guess either way, your fouls could have a higher level of impact or intensity, however it is, but they're treated very differently between the 2 sports. It's a different situation.
It is, it's a wholly different situation. Speaking of situations, though, you mentioned the goal scoring. Obviously, we've got keepers who are doing well in the scrimmage match against Walnut Grove, which was, in fact, we won
2-0.
See,
it's okay.
It's still early in soccer season for me. Abraham Vasquez. Abraham Vasquez is a name that a goal scorer against Walnut Grove, scored both goals against Habersham last night.
Yesterday.
What makes this young man special?
From the middle school, he was really a good player already. He has been with us since he's a freshman. He was a captain already last year. He's a captain this year. He's a junior. I mean, he's really like level-headed, really good players. I have a good group of good players this year, but I have 3 or 4 that are above the rest. Christian Perez, Brian Tercios. You know, I have some good players. My goalies are really good. And so yesterday in the second half, the first 3 minutes, he had 2 goals, quick, and then we were on top. And he's a really good player.
Yeah, special kid.
So while you're talking about some of the players, walk us through what is the identity of this year's team, from the offensive scores to the defense, and talk about the goalkeepers. 'Cause I know our goalkeepers are kind of on another level this year.
So this year, if we start from the goalies, we have Marquis, who has been here. It's his 4th year with us. Sam, he was with us as a freshman already varsity. He's a top goalie. And then we got Logan Gailey, who is a sophomore. Last year decided not to play. This year decided to join us. He used to play at Atlanta United. Definitely a top goalie as well. So it's a good problem to have as a coach. Like it's hard. Like they are both good goalies. I know many programs would like to have just one of them.
Yeah,
I have 2. It creates some problems for me as who is going to start, who is not going to start. So far, we have been sharing times. And at some point, there will be our decision, but it's a really good problem for us. Then in the back, we have one of the football players who decided to come back and play, Ruben Gonzalez. We have Gerard Bonilla, Jose. We have Jose. We have Ethan James. We have a good group of people. Anson, the one who got the red card, that time he can be really good. That time he can do like some really questionable play, like yesterday.
And sometimes they deserve it.
Yeah.
And then in the middle we play with 3 mids, and we this year we are controlling the ball a lot. Like our first 2 games, I would say at least 65 to 70% of the ball was our ball. So we are controlling the ball. We have definitely Abraham AB Vasquez. We have Christian Perez. We have Brian Contreras. We have Juan Gonzalez. Like we have a good group, and it's the same because I play only 3. I have at least 5 people who could start in many teams. So that's again, yesterday we did the starter yesterday as my holding mid was not the same as my starter last Friday. And they have to understand that we are going to share times. I have Austin Duran who came back to us this year. Last year, unfortunately, was not eligible. But he played for me as a sophomore. He's a great wing. We have Brian Tercios who plays a little bit everywhere of the same. I mean, all in all, we have a good group. We have Yanni, we have Anderson who are picking up this year. I will say it was harder to make the team this year than it is in past year. I definitely left people out who could play in many teams.
Yeah.
It's a bad problem and a good problem. I think it's a good problem to have. It's difficult at times because everybody wants to play.
Yeah.
And certainly, you know, in our community, if you come out to our week of soccer tryouts, I mean, we'll have 100+ trying out for soccer. I mean, that's the kind of competition level that we have here to join our soccer program. Honestly, probably one of the largest tryouts that we have across all of our programs. So I know that's it's tough on our coaching staff to kind of figure out how to make that group work.
Yes, and like it's difficult to see, not without games, to see. Okay, you know, sometimes you have players. They are great practice players, and then they get to the game, and
they're great in drills.
They don't have that intensity, and then these kids, I mean, players, you barely see them at practice, at tryouts, and then the first game you are like, whew, this one is going to play. This one is going to play. Like this one is going to, you know. There is always that's what I try to tell them. My starting lineup of my first game is never my starting lineup of my last game. There is people, when they are going to have an opportunity, they are going to get their 10 minutes. They are going to show me, hey, that's not 10 minutes they need. They need like 80 minutes because like they are actually like awesome on the field. They are hustlers. They are, you know, they are different type of players. When it's game time, they turn it on and they can play. And so it's not always easy. This year we had to, unfortunately, we have like several people who were varsity last year who did not make varsity this year. And it's hard to explain to people like, I'm like them. I want to win as many games as I want. And therefore I want to try to make my team as good as I can.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's not easy to explain to somebody why you were good enough last year, but I'm sorry, but this year very better people, and therefore you are not good enough this year.
Listen, I enjoy and appreciate both sort of and this is going to be a grotesque word to use to not wrap up, but to what's the word I'm looking for? Put together what Coach Vivient just said. It's going to be especially because we're talking about high school athletics. I appreciate the cutthroat nature of what you just said. Well, no, you were good enough last year. You're not good enough this year, and that's just how it is. And we're about competitiveness and being able to compete against every team at every level. And in order to do that, we needed you last year. We've got kids better this year that can do it better. Like I really appreciate
kids
that.
Have to understand that they have to continually grow and improve and work and have that work ethic, or they're going to find themselves in that situation because around here our soccer program's strong. It is year in year out one of the stronger programs we have here. And if you're not putting yourself to the test, you're not going to make it.
And has been, and that is a perfect segue into. I mentioned in the intro that Coach Vivient's our longest tenured head coach here at Gainesville High School. I know our listeners are interested. I'm interested in this. Gosh, give us a little bit about your background. How did you get to Gainesville in the first place?
Well, and first of all, let's point something out.
He was an assistant before he was head.
Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, he was. He was. But I was. For some of our first time listeners. Coach Vivient is not from Gainesville, Georgia. Not even from the Southeast. So you might want to just, in case somebody's somewhere maybe is having trouble understanding.
He came from the Midtown area before they built the bridge.
Yeah, I hear
He's
you.
So
I actually starting to work here at Gainesville High School in 2006. In 2007, Mr. Smith was the coach, and I guess he was late at the chess study game. And I was just there to watch the game, and I was a teacher, and the kids were already there. And so I went down, I talked to the kids a little bit, I was there on the sideline, we talked a little bit, and then I came a little bit more to more games. I believe the next year, Rick Howard took over the program, and then I became his assistant coach until 2012, where we had some great years. In 2010, we won state, we were first in the nation. We were a state finalist in 2012. This is a time where Johnson, Westall, all those, we were a region with 13 teams. There was no 6A, 7A, no things like that. So like our regions were big and super competitive.
Yeah.
To win region meant something.
Yeah.
And so the funny story is when we won state, actually Coach Howard against Riverwood got a red card. So that was my first taste of a head coach because then he couldn't coach a quarterfinal, semifinal, and I coached a final. Yes.
I had no idea. So he got a red card
against Riverwood. They got a PK at City Park. He started to take off his jacket, and that was a sign. A lot of former players could tell you when he take off his jacket, it's
not good.
No,
it's not good. Yeah. That's fantastic.
So that's how I started. In 2012, I left to actually go teach dual enrollment for UNG and to go to Jackson County. And at Jackson County, my first year there, they had a coach, Coach Vincent, that I knew a little bit, and he didn't pursue it in 2013. And I was offered with one of my friends, Bob Betts, who was the IT director. We were offered to coach together, and I started my head coaching trip up there, I guess, journey up there. In 2016, I decided that traveling, I was a little bit at UGA teaching as well, and I decided it was too much traveling. My kids were in school here. My wife works for the system. So in July, somebody called me from the high school and said, hey, you want to come back here and teach here? And I came back. In September, Coach Howard asked me if I wanted to coach with him. And I said yes. And then somehow we decided it will be maybe better if I was the head coach and he was the assistant coach.
Was he coaching the girls at the time too? Was he?
No, he was still
Okay.
the boys. He
He
was
was-
still
okay,
the boys.
okay.
It was
So-
a couple of years later.
Yeah.
Yes, he was the boys. So he was my assistant coach. And then the first 3 years I came back here, we did 2 state finals, 3 region championship. We did well. He went back and got the girls after that. And then COVID came, a lot of change. And
Yeah.
I don't know how we have had a hard time to get back to the top.
Yeah.
We are a good program, I think, but we have had a hard time to get back to the top. And like, unfortunately, like, we are not bad, but we are lacking sometimes that little things, either that little luck or that little extra things. We were a good team last year. We are, I believe, a really good team this year. I think this year we can definitely compete for region titles and things like that, actually.
What do you think that little thing is? You said there's a little pre-COVID it existed, post-COVID it doesn't exist. What is that little thing? Can you name it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's me or the players. Or sometimes I feel a little bit a lack of commitment. And we are trying to change few things this year. We started the season as it's either all in or out, meaning that if you know you cannot make practices and things like that, then I ask people to not be in the team. So when people came and told me like, hey, I work. So like on that day, like every week on that day, I told them, no, you cannot be in the team
Wow.
this year. So we have changed a little bit orientation to more commitment for the year. Maybe not. How can I say that? We didn't privilege the commitment, but we drop a little bit the skill, and
Yeah.
we thought, okay, you know what? This year you are going to be either all in or you are out.
Yeah.
We cannot keep on doing things that are not all in. And I believe. I have a new assistant coach who is helping us, so we expanded a little bit our staff. Now we are 4 to take care of the varsity team, and I believe that's helping us as well. And so I think we are going to be really good actually this year.
I appreciate though that you sort of you mentioned there that even if you're incredibly skilled, but couldn't commit your time like you wanted them to be able to, then you took the player who was less skilled, who could commit their time like you wanted them to. When you've got a coach like Coach Vivient and the staff you just mentioned, but really when you've got a coach like Coach Vivient, the skill that's lacking can be made up for. You can teach that as long as they have the commitment to be consistent in their preparation and show up. And a lot of times, the easy thing to do is take the person who has the skill. Is take the one who has the skill from the jump.
Yep.
That's the easy thing to do. And to hear Coach Vivient say, no, we're gonna take the person who can fulfill what we're looking for in a team and a program this year. I as a Red Elephant really appreciate hearing one of our coaches say that.
Absolutely, and it's about the team concept. You have to look at the team concept, and it's funny. You mentioned the coaching staff will continue to develop, and one of the things I always give Coach Vivient a credit for is I describe him as a chess player. He strategizes his games like a chess player. He's playing the long game to get us there. Coach, I want to ask another question. When you look at our region and you talk about you feel like you can compete for a region title this year, who do you see? And we have a tough region, but who do you see as the biggest competition in our region?
I still think it's Johns Creek and Milton. We took Johns Creek to double overtime last year. Milton, we were already out of the race. But when you think about it, last year, for most of the season, we had 5 of our region team that were in the top 10 in Georgia.
Yep.
And that's what people don't understand, is that there is no day off, because games in, games out is a tough game. Anybody can win against anybody. There is nobody like Lanier last year beat us and they took us out. These things like that. Like you will think they were not as good as everybody else, but they can come and on one game they can beat us. It's one of those things. Is sometimes it's a game of inches.
Yep.
Last year against Johns Creek, it's 2-2. We're in double overtime. We have the 1-on-1. We don't score. 30 seconds later, they score. They win the game. It plays little details, and all those teams, they all have 20, 25 players who are going to be well trained. They have great coaches. the coaches at Milton is a funny story. It's he beat us in the 2017 state final. He won 2017-18, kind of semi-retired. Now he's at Milton, building another great programs. I mean, all of them are great coaches. And so they have great players, great coaches. It's like it plays on small details.
Yep.
You got to appreciate, too, though, that when you talk, our coaches build incredible out-of-region schedules because of how difficult in-region's going to be, but also because we've got eyes towards state, and you want to make sure you're playing competition night in and night out that reflects what you're going to see when you get to the postseason. And what's interesting is when you look at our soccer schedule, you're going, but we're playing county teams. And I mean no offense, but
not this time.
Not this time. I mean no offense this time, but we're in 6A. Some of them are in 3A, 4A, the competition level. Why aren't we playing? Where boys soccer's concerned, our county is amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing. I mean, Johnson's at the top.
Yes.
But the team we're playing this Friday, East Hall.
They are really good. They make playoff every year. They are really good. I mean, if you think about it, there is 3 really strong regions in soccer. You have the 400 corridor with Forsyth and Fulton. Then you have the Dalton, Southeast Whitfield, and all that region. And then there is us. I mean, like people. I mean, Dalton is going to play Johnson. We are all playing. That's what I say. Like games in, games out. Everybody is going to play good teams. And for me, when I make Chesterdy went to beat Jefferson yesterday, and Jefferson is a good soccer team. That's what people don't realize. Like Chesterdy lost against West Hall, but it's because all of the teams around here are good.
They're very, very good.
And
they're very good.
It's hard to say, but you lost 5 games this year. Yeah, but like I lost in PKs against Johnson. I lost in double overtime against Johns Creek. Like those games are not easy.
Right.
We could make an easy schedule. We could go more in the mountains. We could go more, but it's really how it works. And but I don't want to lose 5-0, but in the same time,
don't want to beat somebody.
No. A close game is nice.
You learn more from
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it's nice. You want to it until close to the end. Like even yesterday, like a team like Abersham, they are well coached. They have good players. It's 2-1. It's they score and then up. It can be a different game the last 5 minutes of the game until the time run out. You never know who is going to win, and that's nice. And I think that's what people want to come see.
100%.
When they watch a game, they don't want you to like, hey, we won 10-0. Oh, there was no.
It's not fun for anybody.
No. Being on the losing end, being on the winning end, it's not fun for anybody. So I want to remind everybody before we wrap up with Coach Vivient, home opener this Friday against East Hall. Girls start at 5:30. The boys will start about 20 minutes after that, but probably around 7:30. Going to be 2 incredible matches. You just heard Coach Vivient say East Hall's bringing it, and of course our boys are going to as well. The opener at City Park on Bobby Gruen Field. Make sure you get your tickets at GoFan. Get out, support the Red Elephants. As we wrap up with you, Coach Vivient, World Cup coming here this summer. I know you're a Viva la France guy.
Yes.
When the World Cup was over in your motherland, you went,
yes,
and had yourself a grand time. Are you planning on? What is your excitement level about the World Cup being in your adopted country? And are you planning on going to any matches?
Actually, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'll be back. My wife is a teacher as well, and so we enjoy our time overseas. And so I'll be back overseas for the summer.
Okay, good for you.
Yes.
Listen, he's an honest man, in case you hadn't noticed.
Well, it's like, remember when the Olympics were in Atlanta, a lot of people said it's time to get out of town.
It's time to get out of town. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you have tried, but I know several people who over here bought tickets. Tickets are super expensive, so hard to get. I'll be watching on TV. When I want to take a break, I can.
What's the as someone who's experienced the overall atmosphere? What can people expect here when it comes to the world coming to really Atlanta for starters, with the matches being here? Like, what can people expect? What's the atmosphere like?
So it's a lot more. People are a lot more involved. The fans are more like team oriented, meaning like. Everybody chanting, everybody like is up, like.
But not just in stadium, out of stadium, like everywhere
out
they go.
of the stadium, in the stadium, like everywhere in the street, and it's I don't know why it's a little bit different in the sense that like you can go and you can have a drink with somebody from the opposite team and talk about it, and it's okay. And you are still like, it's okay. You lose, win, like
it's friendly competition.
Yes. With my son, we'd like to go to games, and we went to like France against Croatia. And then at the end of the game, where we went, like there was a bunch of people from Croatia, and it was great. It was great atmospheres. Usually it's a little bit different than I feel like sometimes here. We have a part of the people who are real fans, and then we are a part of the people who go there because it's cool to go there instead of like they are really into that game and they are really into that team. You know,
right.
I see it a little bit more like college sports where, you know, like when UGA plays, they have UGA fans, like they are real fans.
You're right.
Sometimes I feel like if you go see the Falcons or the Hawks, then they are not really all Falcons.
They want to get. They want to go to a professional game.
Yes, exactly. They want to go to a game, but they are not their team where they will like wear the colors all the time and everything.
Right. Whereas the soccer fan, listen, I can't wait for it. I will not be going to any matches because of the thing you two named, the price point. But I absolutely can't wait for it. Much like Adam mentioned with the Olympics, I volunteered at the Olympics back in '96. I was at the rowing venue. The atmosphere was incredible. And mainly it was because all nations here and everyone, there was just this jovial, you can't even really describe it. I have chills tomorrow, I'm thinking about it, but I'm looking forward to it. What I'm really looking forward to though, and Adam echoes this, is our boys soccer season this year. Yes. Girls too, but our boys soccer season this year. And the main reason is because we know what we've got in our coach, Elie Vivient. Always a pleasure talking to you. Can't wait to see what we do on Friday against East Hall and the rest of the season. We appreciate you being on Behind the G.
Thank you for having me.
Colden McKay competed in 4 events for GHS swimming and last weekend's state swim meet at Georgia Tech. He placed 5th in both the 50 and the 200 free and competed in a couple of relay events as well. He's joining Behind the G now. We're happy to have him here with us. First swimmer that's been on the show with myself and Adam. So excited to be talking to you. How you doing today, Colden? You good?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Love hearing it. Give our listeners a little info into your background, how you came into swimming, where you're from. Tell us a little bit about your family, anything you want to offer up.
So I grew up around here. I've been swimming since I was 9. It's something I found a passion for, and I've just stuck with it.
What grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. So here's my like burning question. When you first started swimming, did somebody just throw you in?
My mom kind of forced me to do it to start, but
now had you had lessons, like swim lessons, before you started swimming competitively? I'm assuming.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so before the lessons, was it just do you come from a back like did anybody in your family swim?
A lot of my family swam.
Okay.
So it was kind of a family thing.
Yeah, it's a family thing. So they probably did throw him in there.
Yeah, I would say, but they take you deep in and throw you in and say you'll figure it out, or did they, slowly work you into it?
A little bit slower.
A little bit slower.
So where did you come to do the obviously the freestyle events are the ones that you gravitate towards? So how did you come to get those as your events?
So I just trained like every stroke, and those are the two. That's the main stroke. That's like come out as a stroke that I'm the best at. So that's what I do in competition. What
are you doing outside of obviously competing for Gainesville this year? What do you do competition wise outside of Gainesville High School?
I swim for linear aquatics. And that's just basically all I do.
Is that you've been swimming since 9 with linear aquatics?
Yes, sir.
So tell us about your training schedule, because I know my son swam as well for I guess 6 years through middle school and high school. He swam at linear aquatics. Not everybody understands what that training schedule is like and how intensive it is. So kind of walk us through maybe a typical week through your club season with linear aquatics.
Yeah, so we have practice every day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Night practices are from 5 to 7:30, Monday through Thursday. Friday is 5 to 7. We also have a morning practice on Friday from 5:30 to 7, and then Saturday is just 8 to 10.
So why do they give y'all Sundays off? I mean, can't they take up Sundays too?
It's a well-welcome rest day.
I'm sure it is.
A much-needed rest day.
But you're still getting 7 practices over 6 days, so... So talk us through like a typical practice at Lanier Aquatics. Like what are y'all doing for that 2-hour time frame?
So we warm up for generally the first hour. We'll get a heart rate going, a little preset, then we'll hit the main set for like the last hour, sometimes hour and a half of practice.
Okay.
What are your if you're going to practice that much, if you're going to compete to the level at which you did for Gainesville High School, again, 4 events in the state meet at Georgia Tech, place in the top 5 and 2. If you're going to compete at that level and take that much time with it, you've got to have some pretty stout ambitions where swimming is concerned. What do those look like?
I would love to swim in college. That's been my goal ever since I started. I'd love to swim Division I, and that's just what I've been chasing for all these years.
So outside of going to potentially swim at the University of Florida, where all the great swimmers come from, what would be another program that maybe you might be interested in?
I've always been a huge fan of Alabama football. You know, I've been to a couple games. I love the campus, and that's just a place I'd think about going.
Have you visited their nauditorium?
I've been inside it, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Any college swimming diving facility is pretty awe-inspiring, except for the University of Florida's. We'll just throw that out there. I'm sure that, by the way, big Florida fan sitting right across from you, Colton. I am a huge Georgia football fan. I'm nuanced in my fandom, as anyone who's known me for a while or been listening to me for a while knows. I'm nuanced in my fandom, big Georgia football fan. Neither one of us, though, can stand Alabama. So congratulations on bringing that one up. Neither one of us can stand Alabama. I kid with you. So beyond that, like, if y'all could see him sitting here with Adam and I right now, our GHS sophomore here is wearing a USA sweatshirt, and it kind of, I don't want to say teared up because that is way too dramatic, but I got a little choked up when I saw you in it, because when you think of swimming,
Yep.
you automatically go to Olympic Games.
Yep.
And goodness knows the USA has had some incredible swimmers, male and female, in its day.
Vast majority of them from the University of Florida.
Whatever. The best one, though, from where? Not Florida. So that's all that matters. And that's Michael Phelps, by the way. And Katie Ledecky, where did she go?
Florida.
No, she didn't. Katie Ledecky went to Florida?
Yep. Anything else you want to throw?
We're going to check that. Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, golly. Okay, that's a notch against her. Anyway, so do you have aspirations in those regards?
I would love to swim in the Olympics. You know, it's something that takes extreme amount of talent and a lot of dedication and work, like not just Monday through Saturday, like
Right.
Monday all the way
Monday
to Sunday.
through Monday. That's right.
Yeah.
So when I think of swimmers, and again, I'm just going on the Olympic level that we see, and goodness knows they get into their personal regiments. They get into their personal regiments a lot when they're talking about the Olympics. You burn a lot of calories swimming, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Even if you were just, and I say just like I could go out there and do it, even if you're doing what Colton does, and that is swimming, 2.5 hours every single day except for Sunday, because everybody needs a day of rest. What is your, like, how are you putting fuel into your body to sustain a 6-day workout schedule?
I eat a lot, and I love eating, which is one of the main reasons I've stuck with swimming, because I get to eat so much.
Listen,
You
smart
eat
guy
whatever
here.
you want.
Smart guy here. What does your family's grocery bill look like?
It's very, very high.
Do you have siblings?
I do.
Do they swim as well?
They used to swim. My sister dances, and my brother, he's testing out some options right now.
Okay. Dancing is another one, though, that is a fuel burner. Okay, so typical day. Take us through breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Breakfast, we usually get like eggs, bacon, sometimes cinnamon rolls, something like that. Lunch is just kind of whatever we can throw together, whether it's a sandwich or something like that. Dinner's always nice because it's like whatever we can get, like steak, spaghetti, stuff like that. Is really, really good.
If you had one go-to thing that you're like, I need this before I can go swim, and I'm going to swim my best meet ever, what is it?
I love eating French toast before I swim.
French toast.
Ooh,
It's
carbs,
really good.
carb loading.
Well, yeah, I've been an athlete before, but like French toast is the most random carb loading element I've ever heard in my life. Is it with syrup, with butter,
With syrup,
all of
butter,
it.
all of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen, we might have a unique fella over here. I don't know that I've ever heard that.
Do you have intentionally eat to get a certain number of calories per day?
I don't. I just eat until I'm like full or beyond full.
He's a kid.
So do I.
Yeah. He's a kid. He could do that. So when you look over the course of the next 2 years, Colden, and with the aspirations to go to college, Division I level, and hopefully in your case, it's the University of Alabama, will allow for such. Correct?
Well, I'm gonna fact check myself real quickly. I was wrong on Katie Ledecky. She was a Stanford Cardinal.
Ooh, okay.
But
notch cleared.
But while we're on there, Caleb Dressel, 3-time Olympic medalist, Bobby Finke.
Where'd Michael Phelps go? So the two greatest swimmers in Olympic history went to Michigan and Stanford.
Dara Torres, 12-time Olympic medalist. Ryan Lochte, 11-time Olympic medalist. I mean, I could go on and on. There's like 17 of them on this list.
Yeah.
I apologize, though.
No, it's totally cool.
Katie Ledecky did not go to Florida.
Right.
She probably wishes she couldn't get in.
Two best, but she could get into Stanford and not get into Florida. That's where it's at. You're absolutely right. Speaking of academics, what's your favorite subject in school? What do you like learning about best?
Probably science and biology, stuff like
I
that.
don't understand you people, the science and the math. It's something I'm going to repeat.
Not the science.
See, that's odd because most people, are you good at math?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say good.
Okay.
What's your second subject?
English, I think.
There we go. There we go. Now we're speaking the same language. See what I did there?
That's an odd combination, though.
It is. It's a very odd combination. What do you like about science?
I like being able to learn about, everything around me and how it works.
What do you want to? What field do you want to study in college?
I'm not quite sure.
Good for you. Keep your mind open. The world is your oyster, my guy.
Have you ever watched the show How It's Made?
I have not.
You're missing out on life.
For a science mind, get to how it's made.
Yeah.
What is your So again, I go back to, in order to train like you train, in order to do the things you do, there has to be a little voice in the back of your head that's constantly pushing you. Who's that voice? Who are your influence?
I do all I do competition wise because I love spending time with my teammates. They just push me to be the best version of myself I can be. That's
fantastic. Colden McKay, GHS swimmer. Again, folks, if you weren't keeping up with him, you missed out, but you haven't missed your chance. You still got 2 years with us. Again, went to Georgia Tech, competed in 4 events in the state swim meet. Finished in the top 5 in 2 of those events. He is one to watch out for when it comes to red elephants on the stomp. Colden, we appreciate your time today, man. Thank you. We say often here on Behind the G that when it comes to the coaching of our student athletes, we've got it as good as all and better than most. That sentiment extends beyond just our head coaches, though. For example, our next guest, girls assistant soccer coach Tara Koleski. I am pronouncing your last name right.
You got it.
Fantastic. So whether you're familiar with the name or not, her resume is eye-popping. She's played and coached collegiately. In fact, she was an All-American at the University of Portland back in the late 90s when all the cool girls were playing college athletics. She led them to 2 national title games. She's played and coached professionally, both at home and abroad. And the most impressive part, at least to me, as a 90s kid, and to all those of you out there listening, because you've seen the comeuppance of it, she did a stint with our famed and heralded U.S. women's national team. Tara Koleski joining Behind the G now. We're happy to have you here. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for aging me.
Hey, yeah, listen, I age myself weekly.
I'm sorry, we're all aged.
It is what it is. How you doing? Everything going okay?
Yeah, it's going great.
All right, fantastic. So first year here at Gainesville High School. I mentioned some of your resume, but give folks out there listening an idea of who you are, where you've been, what you've done, all that good stuff.
Oh man. Well, I played at University of Portland. I played Division I back in the day, since we've already dated myself. My first year I actually spent at USC, Southern Cal, and it was back when there was the Pac-10. Mm-hmm. That Pac-10 became the Pac-12 in my freshman year. And then at the time in the 90s, University of Portland was filled with U.S. women's national team players. And so to just up my game and really get a shot for the U.S. women's national team, I was vying for the World Cup. I went to University of Portland. It was a great experience, small soccer school. From that, most of the players at Portland actually went on to coaching. Our coach was amazing, a great role model. I moved overseas. I played in Germany for a couple of years. I played a little bit with the Italian national team, and then I had to make a choice when I got called into the U.S. national team. I went in and out of camp, but I suffered 12 knee surgeries. And so
Only 12.
yeah, just a couple. So I had to quit and retire. And so that journey was always really hard, trying to redefine yourself after athletics. And I went into college coaching and kind of bounced in and out of the game. I had a hard time, I think, after not being a professional athlete. That's part of what my book is actually about now. I'm in the process of finishing a book. But now my goal is just to really work with youth and, be a great role model like I had experience and do more than what some of the coaches that I had growing up did, especially when it comes to injury. We have such great technology. But just building those cultures and communities so beyond the sport, girls have that takeaway, and they had a great experience.
I hate to ask this question, but God, y'all know me. I'm going to ask it anyway. 12 knee surgeries. What were the injuries? What all injuries did you have? 4
ACLs.
2 each?
3 on one and 1 on one.
Good Lord.
And then the rest were meniscus. And they tried a number of different experimental surgeries in Europe that obviously didn't work. And then they ended up just taking out my meniscus because they didn't want me out for rehab, which cost you a lot more later on.
So, and I don't want to go really down a rabbit hole with this, but I do just kind of want your thoughts as somebody who has had that many, a female that has had that many knee injuries, played college basketball. Every year we had two or three of my teammates. Fortunately, I was never one of them. 2 or 3 of my teammates would go down with ACLs, MCLs, LCLs, whatever the case may be. One of them went down with 1 each year, and then by her senior year, she goes up for a layup, her whole knee just explodes, right? So what do you, when you look back, because obviously things have changed. We don't see athletes having those amount of injuries in a career. What's your gauge on how things have improved? Have they improved? What was learned from something you went through that now the athletes you're coaching might not have to?
Yeah, great question. I think technology and awareness and the difference between female and male bodies has changed. There's U.S. Soccer's put a ton of money into the research on when are women more likely to tear their ACLs, body structure, even to game warm up. So even with our own high school team here at Gainesville, we're changing the warm up, doing a lot more ACL preventative things. So just that awareness alone has changed throughout the times. Not only has the surgeries changed, but the rehab has changed.
Right.
My first ACL I rehabbed in 4 months. Now it's 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Back in the day they would cut it out and not stitch the meniscus. So now I think coaches are more aware. You're given the time to recover. There's a sensitivity around the healing process where back in the day, it was put some ice on it, give you a cortisone shot, and get back on the field.
That's right. Rub some dirt on it. Yeah. What an incredible, and obviously, like what you can provide for our female student athletes, our student athletes at large, if you want my opinion, but our female student athletes is vast. But even when it comes to something like that, because both Baldwins have torn their ACLs, Teresa and Madeline, and then we had Anna Henshaw tear her ACL last year. So, not that that's I hate to say, like, what a great time for you to come along, but the mentorship you can provide them in healing from that and being the same athletes they were is really, that's a separator to me.
No doubt. I mean, being able to have somebody that, number one, has been through it, but number one, can help advise how to not do it again, I think is huge. I want to kind of dive into your pre-college time frame. I think it's important for, with us being at the high school level, I think it's important for our community and for our kids to really hear about, okay, you had a goal to make the U.S. national team. So what did your youth program look like? What did your high school program look? How did you get yourself into that place?
Well, I went to a school in Arizona called Xavier College Prep, and when we first went there back in the 90s, it was not a soccer school. They had just started a women's soccer program, and frankly, I wasn't really having my eyes set on the national team when I was in high school. there wasn't a lot of female role models. There wasn't that women's national team per se. My dad had me playing with boys in high school. When I went to high school, it was the first time I actually got to play with girls. So the community and the, camaraderie that I got in high school, it was actually a motivator. It was the first time I actually felt like I was on a team. I would travel back and forth to Brazil playing when I was young, but I was always with boys, so I was always with my parents. And by the time I got to high school, we won 3 state championships, and it was just one of the best experiences playing high school for me over club, because I got a chance to be with friends and have that social environment. And I think my senior year was when I first got called into the U20 national team, that it became a possibility. Yeah. And then from there, I tore my ACL in my last high school game, right before I went to USC. So it was that experience in high school and the team and the camaraderie and the support of my friends that actually got me rehabbed in 4 months to play my freshman year at USC. So I'm very thankful for my high school over any club experience, because I didn't really have, too much of a club experience.
Yeah. But it's obviously, the whole landscape has changed drastically. When you're talking, I won't say the last 30 years, but I did just say that. But the landscape has changed drastically. And for someone in your place who's obviously heavily involved in the club side of things, how have you seen that side of things change, over that time frame?
It's wow, is what I can say. The club system has blown up. The travel, the expense, the commitment. The opportunities, though, are also there. You have a lot of players going overseas now and playing with youth national teams, not only representing our country. We have a player here at Gainesville, a freshman that just got called in, is going to Portugal with DPL. So the experiences in the game are amazing. And I'm definitely jealous of that. Maybe I would have had my eyes set on my goals a little bit earlier. But the burnout factor is also there. So now they're doing a lot in club. They're playing every weekend. They're more prone to injury. So building those communities and having good experiences with coaches is really important, because it could also be a detriment to players when they're playing all the time and almost year-round in the club systems. So, I just hope to be on the side of the fence where we're providing that good experience to players. But with the college and women's soccer now and Division I going to 28-player roster and the transfer portal and everything, it is more cutthroat. And the mental aspect of the game for these players is harder. And so I think club prepares them for that, and it is tougher. And high school has to continue the love of the game for them. There's a balance between the two.
So, what advice would you give to a kid who's maybe, coming into high school, who maybe has some of those same aspirations? How do you balance? Because I think you're 100% correct. The club, the travel, the AAU, whatever sport it is, can burn you out. You do have to use the high school for the love of the game. How do you balance the two of those, and what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe got those same aspirations?
I think that it's the most important thing for women to do what they love and find their voice and find different opportunities to lead. We have some freshmen come here at Gainesville, and it's been really nice to see. They are a little bit shy at first, and now they're finding their voice, and they realize they're actually really good. And we have, a bottom-heavy freshman, sophomore roster right now, and we're really relying on them to be leaders. But as long as they are enjoying the situation and they're finding different ways to navigate the game, and whether it's becoming a leader or whether it's using high school to improve on one aspect of the game or finding a different voice, it's always good to have, your club coaches and a high school coach and an ODP coach and ID2, whatever it is, coach, because you're expanding the information you're receiving, and it just helps them become better players. And it's the overall skills that we inherit from sports that even if a lot of these girls don't want to play high school or they're not going to become pro players, it's them using the skill sets that they get here and then using them in life later. And so I think it's just valuable in general, and just continue to do what you love and challenge yourself.
There's something about, especially for women, the communal aspect of being on a team that reaches further than anything that could come athletically from being on a team. That pulling for each other, being for each other, all those type of things. Not to get into sociological babble. Speaking of sociology, that we're going to switch gears here quickly. We do want to talk to Tara about the upcoming girls soccer season. Obviously, soccer knowledge is vast as she's lived a life of it. But I want to talk about the other impressive part of your resume, and that's academics. Graduated from University of Portland, master's degree from
NAU.
There we go. Did you also do a stint at Harvard?
Yes, I have a master's from Harvard in nonprofit strategic management and a master's from NAU in administration leadership.
Yeah, I mean that's just to think about everything you were accomplishing athletically, and then to also do all of that academically. And so I want that to be a lead into tell us about this book you're writing.
The book is titled The Final Whistle, Life After the Game for the 99%.
Yeah.
So it's in publishing right now. Within the next 8 months, it will be out. And it really is just a reflection, something I felt I needed to do after the game. Not everyone becomes a household name when they're done playing. Yeah. It's a real challenge when you become an athlete and then all of a sudden your career ends, whether it's injury, whether you didn't get selected to a roster, and then what skill sets are transferable in your careers and life. So I just felt it was an important message to help young athletes or coaches help players and student athletes navigate the process of finding an identity after sport.
Yeah.
And a little bit about my experience. I was a 90s baby. I was right at the beginning of the first pro league ever in the United States.
Right.
Part of my book talks about I didn't even have a cell phone. I was in the draft and I had to go to a payphone and call my parents and say, I made it. I was drafted. I'm going to San Diego.
Yeah.
And not having the money to even get home at that time. My parents didn't have a lot of money to send me to these things that you had to pay for. So it was quite an experience different than now, playing pro and the expectations of women back then to now. So it was something I felt I needed to write down and hopefully provide that historical view for women's soccer.
I'll be honest with you, the juxtaposition here of somebody like an Abby Wambach, who was a household name, and in the immediate aftermath of her playing career, echoed the sentiments you're echoing, but remained a household name with endorsements and even though she was not in the same position as the other professional athletes who are household names to have the sort of background money, she still could profit off of who she had been because she was at. And so the juxtaposition of where she was, echoing the same things that you're saying, and how to navigate when you're not a household name, and you got to find your own path again, right? Nobody's leading the charge for you because you're Michelle Akers, right? Yeah. Nobody's leading the charge for you. So I find that juxtaposition really interesting and a wildly important message because to your point, 99%ers, most of the athletes out there aren't going to be a household name.
Yeah, and they also are very instrumental in our community after sports. They're, highly recommended to jobs, and those transferable skills are really important. And so it's just getting athletes to recognize you might not be part of that, per se team and that locker room that's so hard to get over.
Go find another one, man.
Yeah. Create your new locker room.
Yep.
And, I think just realizing what that next step in life is and how to get there, and that you're actually prepared for it, and making positive decisions after you're playing, because a lot of athletes don't in that navigation.
Raise his hand in wild agreement. Yes.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's everybody's going to hang up the jersey at some point, and you have to be thinking about what does that look like and having, that plan and find a positive outlet for it. So as we turn our eyes to Gainesville High School soccer, so y'all started practice in early January, played a scrimmage last week. Talk to us, how has been, prep with the girls going?
I think it's going great. It's been fun to work with them. You have, at this school, there's a diverse group, girls that have played club, girls that are starting essentially for the first time. We're converting a player in goal that's never played goalkeeper before, but their attitudes are amazing. Even our goalkeeper, who we put in this really tough spot, there's a lot of great freshmen coming in. Like I said, one was called into Portugal for an elite program through DPL. We have our first game tonight, and I'm excited to watch them. I feel like they're learning every day. I'm not sure they know what to do with me right now, but I do respect them very much, and I'm proud to see even just in the last month, kind of the evolution of where they were and where they are now.
How do you?
Real quickly,
No, you're good.
So real quickly, who is the goalkeeper? Because I know it's a tough task for placing a 4-year varsity starter at the goalkeeping position,
Which would be his daughter, Avery Lindsey. Yes.
Harmony right now is our goalkeeper. Harmony is a sophomore. She has not played in goal, but one practice, Coach Foote put her in there, and she made a great save. And from then on, it's just been like,
we can work with
yeah, we can. You got
Glamour
some
of hope.
size.
That's right. That's right.
But she's probably a little bit nervous, and we're just trying to talk her through it. And I think that's going to be a big thing, is her just keeping her confidence and keeping her head up, and us as coaches helping her through this.
I'm sure she'll do awesome.
Nah, she will not. Listen, it's going to be Avery. Those are some tough shoes to fill. Avery Lindsey in goal. So. And this is real quick. It's for all of our listeners out there, maybe not familiar with the inroads to becoming a national team member. So you mentioned ODP, or playing professionally, or playing for a national team. You've used a few acronyms, and so I want you to literally spell it out for our red elephants out there listening. ODP means
Olympic Development Program.
DPL means
Development Players League.
What's the difference between the two?
Olympic Development Program is state by state, so each state has a selection of what their best of the best is in each age group. From that, ODP, which is state by state, goes to a regional ODP and then national ODP. So you continue through the selection process. There's other ways like ID2, which is a selection process that you're identified in your club games. There's U.S. ID camps, and that's when national team scouts go to higher level league events, and then they identify you. So there's 3 different pathways to getting into the national team.
Yeah.
And each time you step on the field in a club game, you're getting looked at.
Yeah. So when you say we have a player, a freshman, who is it that's going?
Betsy.
Okay. And so she's been called, whatever filtering mechanism, do all the national teams use the same filtering mechanism?
The U.S. national team uses all of
Right.
those, and they use them as identification. There's scouts everywhere in IDP, ODP, U.S.
Right.
ID camp.
How's she going to Portugal, I guess is my...
Through her club, she's playing DPL, the Development Players League.
Okay.
And so she was identified as a top player for
Gotcha.
DPL to
Okay.
go to Portugal and represent essentially the Southeast.
That is a web.
So we have spies from Portugal coming to not our soccer games, but club soccer games. Is basically what we're saying.
Yeah, kind of.
Listen, if it means one of our kids gets an opportunity like that,
awesome.
let them come. Let them come. Absolutely. So as we wrap up with you, Tara, and first of all, it is early on a Tuesday morning. Adam and I had a very late night, not doing anything particularly fun. We were at our baseball game that went extra innings, and we had a late night. So we appreciate you being here and talking with us. The voice is a little gravelly because we were screaming for the Red Elephants until about 10:30 last night, and the thought process is not quite clicking yet. Adam's on his second cup of coffee. I'm just on my first Alani, and y'all know that doesn't bode well for anything. But we appreciate so much you being here and really enlightening us to the processes, but also. To who you are and what matters to you. And I'll be honest with you, I'm super excited about your book.
Yeah,
like, that's
absolutely.
pretty cool. I had no idea you were doing that.
We may have to do an athletic department book study.
That's right. She's gonna lead it.
Yeah,
She's gonna lead it. So I do want to ask though, and this is again as we wrap up with you, what do you love about it? What keeps you in it?
Keeps me in coaching in general.
keeps you in soccer?
I think when you get to be part of a game with that great experience, great coach, and everything comes together with your teammates, and you've had a great experience, although have had some bumps in the road. I also had some negative experiences, and I think that what keeps me going is I don't want a player to have some of those experiences.
I love that.
And the game, the way that I did, I didn't really have a choice. The game ended, a league folded, tore my ACL again.
Right.
It just, the stars didn't align. So I think it's really important that we all have a role model, or we all have a good experience, and I can't express that enough, because it's the thing you refer back to when you're older, and sitting here and talking about it, you're thinking about those great experiences. And so I want to be part of that for a lot of young women. And the game itself is just amazing. As it transforms and becomes more modern every year, I still enjoy learning about it.
Yeah.
And it keeps me doing something that I love, even though I can't play anymore.
Yeah. How forward are you looking to the World Cup being around here this summer?
Oh, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it, and always Team USA. We'll see on the men's side. But don't know. But
we never know.
We keep rooting for them.
That's right. We're going to keep showing up for them. Tara, pleasure talking to you. We'll have you back on at some point this spring, and further along our conversations, not just about GHS, but about what you bring to the sport of soccer all around. We appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you.